What's up, everybody? I'm Albie13. Okay, I'm making a video today about Infinity Internet. This is an app, a web app that I developed. This is something that I came up with. I was inspired to create this, and I was enabled to do this with this company called Cerebrus. So I heard about Cerebrus when they first um, opened up their ability for you to use their chatbot basically. And if I go back here, you'll see that this is Cerebrus. I'm just checking that my visuals are good. Yeah, they are. So I'm trying to keep track and do this in a balanced way. So I won't bore you with this, but they talk about different suggestions here. Nothing seems particularly interested, and there is that great voice mode. You can go to inference.cerebrus.ai to get to this, and it's free. You can select the 70 billion parameter Llama 3.1, which is the best AI that they offer on public. And so we would say something like, write me a report on the report, so it gets longer, the output. I'm trying to think of something, and that's where the limitation is on the fly creativity, huh? Write me a report on Logitech. Okay, something that people know about that is neutral. So what you're noticing here is that it generated this report in real time at a rapid speed, and then they go ahead and say, well, this is how fast it wrote the report, the inference and speed, tokens per second. Okay, tokens are part of the words, and we got 33 on input, 774 on output, 800 in total. That's the context window, and 446 tokens were generated in that amount of time. Per second. I mean, it only took a couple seconds, right? So, that's that. Now, what I'm focusing on is Cerebrus. Let me go back to their site just to see. So they actually, developers, let's see, documentation. What do they have in here? I don't know. Developers, click on that to get here. Okay, so they open it up to developers to give a API access out, and I indicated I was interested, and then what they like to see is an open source program. So I was initially going to write up some code, and it takes a little bit more work to create a GitHub page. So let me go ahead and pop over to my GitHub page. So in the spirit of creating an open source application that anyone can see how it's done, and then they can see some of the interesting thing. I don't know if they were particularly interested that I did this or not, but we're using 100% PHP web language here. So this app lives on the internet like a web page. It lives on the web server, and you can access this publicly. So if we go ahead and see here, we have our live demo, which we're going to get to in a second, not to bore you. But what we did was we took their, I think they offered like two ways they presented the API access, but the API access basically can be accessed through post method on the internet. So I went ahead and wrote the PHP program to, you'll see here that you basically plug in your API key that you get from being a developer on their website, and then you use the method to send the API request. And so basically, that's how it works. It uses oops, let me go there. Anyway, let me show you now where we're at. Okay, so this is Infinity Internet, and it's meant to present a Google like simple, it's not a web search, but it's like, what if it was a web search, right? So what if I wanted to search for Deadpool, right? Something, and to infinity. So this is the idea that, so actually what is happening is we're actually sending a request to the AI. It's actually creating a website in code, and then it's presenting it, loading it into the user's web browser. And so it's like I'm visiting a web page, but this web page never existed before this moment of creation. Okay? So the AI actually wrote the entire web page, and then just make sure that's displaying correctly. And then it now this particular example turned out pretty nice. There are a couple limitations. One of them being with the context and the length, how the amount of code that it can write, I guess. So that means to say that, to make it look nice and to put the content, there's going to be some limitation. So they always come out more of a stub than an entire website. But this is pretty cool. Wade Wilson, Deadpool, his powers, and all this kind of cool stuff. This is a great example. It's limited by your creativity, but there's a lot of great things that you can do. I can type in a 3D object in CSS, something. There's a lot of tests that I've done with this. See if it comes out good. And so there it is. It's a 3D object in CSS. You can do many different things. Funny cat names. I like that one. So it's going to make a site on funny cat names, right? There's a Perfect Storm and Purry Purry, and then you see it created a website with you're not generating images. That could be a futuristic concept. We have limitations. We're not generating images. We're using placeholder shapes and colors and things like that. So if I go ahead and use funny cat names again, what we're actually doing is going back to the AI and telling us create a website. It has a so it's a create every time, based on randomness, it's going to create something new. So you get different names and you get different website design, because it's just like almost like doing it at a different time gives you a different result. So if you don't like what it made, try it again. What else can we do? Informational, how to make Chinese orange chicken, something, just trying to see what I can come up with. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking about doing here. I'm doing it on the fly. But how to make Chinese orange chicken. It's a popular Chinese American dish from the 80s, sweet and savory. It's really good, actually, when when you know what you want. If you don't know what you want, the AI sometimes makes something cool, and sometimes it makes something just bad. So the fact that I wanted this, and then it's presenting it in such a nice manner, is just great. So the right prompting of the AI and the smartness of the AI is coming through really well. So these are particularly good examples. I definitely will land on a bad example. The cat ones weren't that super impressive, but I try not to go to a website like, I always think about, I want to see Tesla website. I want to see Tesla Optimus humanoid robot website, and it's not going to be all that in a bag of chips. Okay, it's something, and you usually get and then so where it's cool is it's saying that state-of-the-art robot system and key features. I think that's really cool. And then we have basically a failed picture of a robot represented by shapes. So it's really difficult to code this and get it right without actually checking the code and looking at it and doing it again. So we're doing it in one shot. So think about if it was a person writing the code for this website, and they're like, okay, I got it right. Oh, his leg is a little bit off. So I think that's a perfect example of what the AI tried to do. You see what the AI tried to do. It tried to make a robot, but one of the legs flew off at the bottom because code was a little bit off. So I think that's really cool, and I think this is really cool, and this is free to try. If you go to Infinity Internet, it is if you go to GitHub, put the links. I'll put the links to Infinity Internet, and I'll put the links to the GitHub page if you're interested. But basically, where this is inspired from is WebSim. WebSim.ai is something I talked about. This is an example page, but basically you type a page that you want. You could even do it a little bit more special here. This is meant to accept certain things. One of the good things that it has done in the past is it uses Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is not only good at making programming code, but it's good at writing scripts and web language, HTML, CSS, and these other things. It's pretty darn good. So if I come up with a website, I'm just going to type in like www. Let's see, or how do I do this? I don't really want to go to that page, but www dot funnycats.com, gotta have the cats. I'm gonna do cooldogs.com next. So it's actually generating the content that's gonna display it to me somehow. This is like a fake web browser experience that they have built in here. So this one is more sophisticated and it's nice, and actually it's generating, it seems, on the fly, which is really interesting. I don't know how it's streaming. It's actually got the loading bar, and then, oh wow, look what it did with the mouse. It made this cool mouse effect. So this is clearly better than what I have, because what it probably does is not only does it use a better AI model, they maybe have a better context window, but they probably create concepts such as have steps about create the CSS for the page separated from the content, okay? And so Infinity Internet 2.0, which is coming in the future, who knows when. I'm already tired of building Infinity Internet 1.0, right? But 2.0, what it would do to expand, there's two methods of simple making something really cool. I actually want to do another example, even though it was actually really cool. Halo weapons. I just typed that in, and then, I want to see something coming. So, the idea is that I program the AI to come up with the CSS. I program the AI to come up with the content. Actually, it's going to come up with the content first, then it's going to style it. And then it's going to put those things together, and then it's going to display it to the user, and we can do that. And so one of the things that, because Sonnet is not an ultra fast inference engine, or nor is it a excuse me, because it's not a fast inference engine, but also because it's doing these steps and these better things, it takes longer to generate. But it doesn't take that long to generate for the awesomeness of the content that you get. So they clearly beat me out, but my app is kind of fun and useful in a different way. It stands on its own, but this is what I was inspired from. So you kind of got the real Coca-Cola, right? And then mine is like the RC Cola, right? The one that you avoid in the desert. You rather die of thirst than drink an RC Cola from an RC Cola vending machine. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and bye-bye!